Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Tiny Epic Crimes. This game supports 1 to 4 players, it's for ages 14 and up, and the average play time is 30 to 60 minutes. This is my first time attempting the game, so I might get a rule wrong or two, but as I always say, I'm here to spread awareness, have some fun, and show off some really cool games. This is the Kickstarter edition of the game, so the components may be different than the retail version. I for sure know that this mat, for example, and these player mats do not come in this tiny box. So I have some extra components that you normally wouldn't see in a typical retail version. I also got, as part of the Kickstarter, the Kingpins expansion and the mini expansion Crooked Capos, but I've not opened these yet. I don't know anything about them, but they add more layers to the game. So with that out of the way, we are going to play a solo game today, and the 2-player co-op / solo mode are pretty much exactly the same. Only the solo person will control 2 characters individually, and they'll have their own things that they do. The main way to play is competitive, and players will be competing in the competitive game to most efficiently find the correct suspect out of these 16 here. Typically, players have 48 hours to get enough clues by spending actions on the board here to resolve things like, there's various tokens that players are trying to collect. And if you collect all of them, then you get to get more information about the actual suspect. As you'll see here, there's like different, it's like in Guess Who, there's different like attributes. For example, the suspects are broken up into 2 different gangs, the Blue Bee suspects and the Red Rhino suspects. They've got a different rank, underbosses, bosses on each of those. And there's even like these little mini ones underneath here. The murder weapon, evidence that they leave behind, the getaway vehicle. So by completing actions here, you're going to be learning things about the one suspect that you're looking for. Speaking of suspects, there's a deck of these 16 suspects. One of them, however, is randomly placed into this, sort of like in Clue. You're going to put one of them in here, and, you can't see what it is. But throughout the game, as you get the tokens that you need, you're going to then put that card into these various folders. There's like 5 folders here. And then on the reverse side is like a revealer. You'll be able to see like what that particular attribute is, and then mark it off in your little notepad if you have one. Speaking of notepad, again, these are Kickstarter things. It's just a way of keeping track of what you've discovered thus far. Okay, so the different tokens that you pick up, again, will grant you access to this information to help you deduce who the murderer is. There's a lot going on here, so I will just try and give you a very brief overview, and then we'll jump right into it. I guess since there's so much of it, we'll start in the top and then kind of work our way down. These are force cards on the very top. These are one-off special cards that players get to do various powerful actions to help them out. You start the game with one of them. In a 2-player cooperative game, you form a pool and you share. And a solo mode, the solo mode is played just like the 2-player mode. So we have 2 that we're sharing here. And one is quick response. Instead of driving normally, spend 1 time to place your car on any block. And coordination. At the start of your turn, move your time tracker backward up to 4 time. So these are dealt for us. I already went over the suspect cards. There are various tokens here that will come into play whenever events tell them to. The event deck over here, you start the game with 1 revealed, and you gain more over time as your time marker, or as your marker passes red notches on the time track. But these events will have various conditions on them and may even limit you in some way until you complete them. You can have a total of 3 events out here. When you have to add a 4th event, and you obviously can't do that because there's only 3 spaces, something bad happens, and that's different depending on co-op and competitive. There's like different rules for co-op and competitive. But in this situation, the bank heist, you're going to place the heist time token 10 spaces ahead. So what I need to do is find the bank heist token, which I think is one of these here. It should match. I think that's, there we go. So that matches, and it needs to be 10 spaces ahead of the cop or the patrolman that's like furthest along the track. In this case, we're both on the same space, so it doesn't matter. So that's going to go on the 10 on that time track there. And whenever an officer's time tracker lands on or passes it, they automatically add 2 time, which is bad. We only have 48 hours to complete our clue gathering. So the more time that is wasted, well, that's bad. And if all pass it, discard this event and take too many events penalty. And again, the too many events penalty will depend on co-op or competitive. In this case, there's a little gray mobster that will move backward along the track here and give us less time to work with. As an action at the bank space, which is here, these cards are randomized at the beginning of the game. This headquarters is always at coordinate 3-3. But as an action, we can spend time equal to the number of spaces from the time tracker to the heist time token to resolve it. So we'll get into more of that later, but suffice it to say, we can spend an action on this space to resolve this, but we have to sort of fast forward ourselves all the way up to that point to resolve it, and that's kind of a waste right now. But we also get rewards for doing events too, which I should probably go over too. Sometimes it'll say a solo person gets this, but if multiple people contribute, then multiple people get the reward. The first one is draw a suspect card, which helps you eliminate suspects from your notebook. And this one is not used in co-op, but it is used in competitive. This allows you to peek at a folder that another player already has. As players gain tokens, like I said, and gain enough of them, one player will get, the last player to get the last token of this respective type will get to keep this token and know what that piece of information is. And then as other players complete events, they will then be able to give them a suspect card they may have to then peek at this as well to gain that information. But in cooperative play, you completely ignore this. You don't even worry about it. All information is shared. So all that we would get in that case is to draw a suspect card. The time track up here is, again, it's 1 to 48, and it's double-sided. There's a night and daytime in this game. However, that is not available in the cooperative mode. The day and night cycle in competitive mode is to tell players what they can do on their turn. Here's the competitive side of a player card or player character card. During the daytime, you can do these actions, and on the nighttime, you can do these actions. Whereas on the cooperative side, only this character can do this thing, or this character can only do these things, and this character can do these things, and you kind of have to coordinate and figure out who's going to do what the best, you know what I mean? So there's a slight difference there. This, if I were to flip it over, has blue and yellow to indicate day and night. So, but we're not doing that. Our actions are limited based on character, not by day and night cycle in the cooperative mode. Like I said, there's a lot of little things compared to competitive and co-op that are different. Okay, so I went over that. The time track itself it's not turn order clockwise, rather it's whoever's furthest back. So if you've played Search for Planet X, then whoever's in last place gets to go next. So you could take multiple turns in a row. Players start in 3-3, the headquarters here. You randomize the tokens that are out here. These cards have little token symbols on them. You randomize the tokens, put them out here. In a 2-player game or in a solo game, you're only going to use 3 of the 5 pink tokens and 3 of the 5 blue tokens in this particular configuration. This and this are gone, and 1 and 5 of the blues are gone. Because it's harder for 2 players to get around the city, so you need less of these to complete these respective objectives. Getting 3 of these grants you this, getting 3 of these grants you this, getting 3 binoculars grants you this, getting 3 check mark. These green ones have X's and check marks on them, and if getting 3 check marks will grant you this one. The binoculars have a number on the reverse side, 1 through 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an example. They're randomized, and you have to kind of guess what that number is, and if you guess equal to or lower, then you get it. But the higher you guess, the more time you spend doing that action. So there's that. Also, this weapon here is related to these orange tokens. You have to sort of spend 2 time to capture a mobster, take them in for holding. As a future action, bring them to the headquarters and then bring them back and put them in jail. There are 3 tokens here, a gray, blue, and red, and that is indicative of red, blue, and gray mobsters. So you need 1 of each mobster color to bring back here in order to complete this weapon one. And I think that just about does it. I kind of glazed over the characters themselves. The different actions you can take are here, and we'll go over that as we play the game. The badge level, as you gain any token, or if you get a reward and get to move these up, you'll be able to move your badge level up. In competitive, this helps break ties. In co-op, you can also earn these like draw force cards, for example. So there's that. And here's on this side, you get to draw force cards. You can interrogate another player and get information out of them. But again, this is a competitive. You can also, in the competitive game, just arrest three. You can arrest 3 of the different mobster colors to also increase your badge level. In the cooperative, that's not a thing. You just, whenever you arrest them for one action, they go right back to the bag. Okay, and I'll explain how you do the different blue and green actions and all that as we do them. Also, each player gets an ability. So I have Street Smarts on my green character. It costs -1 time for you to apprehend any blue or red mobster. It cannot be used in the call for backup action, which I'll explain later, assuming we do it. The purple character is the Workaholic. If you resolve an event on your turn, in addition to all of the rewards, you also move your time tracker back 1 time. Okay. And for a 1 or 2 player game, doesn't matter, you're always going to use the green and purple character. The rulebook actually has, because each character has different actions, using the cooperative side of this guy might hurt you because players won't be able to do everything they should do to get everything done. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. I think I have everything in order here. On occasion, like I said, I may have to refer to the rulebook because there's a lot of little rule changes for cooperative versus competitive, and even then. So right now, the green token is on top. It's kind of hard to see up there, but he's going to go first. And he has the ability to... I mentioned purple earlier. This is not... I put the wrong mat down. I got my colors confused. This beige mat should be here, but just you need the patrol cop, which is the beige character. But for whatever reason, my eyes went to purple. Maybe I'm getting old. But anyway, so this is not the purple color. This is the, I guess, brown/beige color. But anyway, so getting to this, purple shows up better on camera anyway, so we'll just leave the car as is. So for the green guy, what you're going to do is you're going to do an optional move, and then you're going to take a mandatory action. So every time you move to a different card, it's 1 time. But you don't actually advance the time marker until after you take your action. So that's important for the competitive mode because there's that day and night cycle. Because some actions you can only do in the day and some actions you can only do during the night, but you don't actually move your time marker until you do your action. So if you start your turn in the day, then you're going to do a day action, even if you move, and that would take you into the night, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to start by maybe just coming up here, and that would technically be 1 action, but I don't move it yet. And then I'm going to, I think, because my detective can catch witnesses, which is part of the blue here, I'm just going to spend 2 time to arrest this guy and put him back in the bag, and then collect the matching token in that column. And that's how you would do the pink as well. My guy can't do pink tokens, and there's no pink token here anyway. But because there was a blue token in this column and a mobster also in this column, I can, for 2 time, just arrest him or apprehend him, whatever. And then I get to take this blue token. A couple of things happen here. This is going to go into my clue tokens area over here to the left. Because I gained a token, I gain 1 badge level, so I go up to the 1 badge level. My special ability also Street Smarts. Whenever you apprehend a blue or red, you spend 1 less time doing it. So this is only going to cost me 1 time instead of 2 to apprehend him. So 1 to move and 1 to apprehend is 2 time. So that's going to go back in the bag. And I'm going to move up 2 time on the time track. So I did an optional move. I did my action. And now if I pass this red notch, the first player to pass this red notch on the time track has to draw a new event card. Any other player does not have to. You only resolve 1 event card per notch. Also, so that's not a thing. And then also the last part of a player's turn is rolling to place mobsters. There's a 5x5 grid here. If you roll a 6, you don't place any. There's a 6, so we do not place any mobsters at this point in time. If you roll doubles, you have to place another mobster on top of that one, and if you roll a 3-3, you never place mobsters in the police headquarters, and that's just it. So, all right, so the green player went, and now we're going to move into the purple, well, in this case, the beige player, but it's purple. The patrol cop. There we go. So what are they going to do? They can do the pink actions. So maybe they come over here, and they can also do the stakeout action. So like they could stay here in the future and try and do both of these at the same time. So let's go ahead and just come over here. And I think they are going to, yeah, do I leave that for blue? No, let's get rid of him. So he's going to, for 2 actions, just apprehend him, and it's called the catch informant, the pink action. So because there's a pink token in this row, and there's a mobster here, they're going to put that back in the bag, and this is going to go on their clue tokens area. They're going to gain a badge level because they gained a token. Now they spent 3 time doing that, so they go up to the 3, and they have to roll for mobsters, which is 3 white 3 and a black 4, which is down here. Okay. That was the end of purple's turn. Green is the last one on the track there, so he's going to go again. I think he wants to maybe come over here, look at the green, because he has the green ability on his card. So maybe come over there and take a look at that. Not a whole lot of mobsters near him right now. So yeah, maybe he does that. Maybe he just comes over here and takes a look at it. It's going to cost him 2 time to reveal it. It's either going to be an X or a check mark, and it is a check mark, which is good for us. Regardless of whether or not he succeeded or failed, it's technically a token he would have gained, so he goes up 1 more on the badge level there. And that's one of the 3 that he needs in order to get this forensics one done. Okay. In a competitive game, like I said, typically to get information, you have to get all the tokens. The last player, kind of like in League of Legends, if you've ever played that on the computer, the last person to hit on League of Legends gets the credit. In this case, the last person to get the token gets the credit. They get to look at this. But in competitive mode, whoever contributed by getting tokens of that type as well will also be able to draw these suspect cards. But again, in a solo or co-op game, everything is shared. The players that contributed to the knowledge of this do not then get to draw a suspect card. Again, very minute rule changes. Okay, so I spent 3 time doing that. 1 to move and 2 to flip that tile. So 1, 2, 3, I'm up to 5. Okay. And now it is, I have to roll for mobsters. Forgot about that. 1 and black 1 and white 4, which is over there. All right, purple's turn. What's purple going to do? I think they're going to come here, and the way this works is, again, these are numbered 1 through 5, these brown tokens, and you're going to guess the number, and if it's equal to or less than, you get to keep it. So let's guess 3, which is like there's a 3 in 5 chance of that. If this is a 4 or 5, then it has to stay there, and I would have wasted 3 time. But those are good odds. So I'm going to go ahead and guess 3 here, and this is a 2. So we kind of wasted a time going higher than we needed to. We could have also guessed 1 and then like on a future turn guess 2 exactly, but it would have worked out the same anyway. So we did guess 3, which is equal to or less than, or equal to or greater than this number here. So we're good. So we are going to keep, purple's going to keep that over here, and they're going to go up on the badge level. Okay. Now they didn't move, so all they did was spend 2 time to do that. So 1, 2, and roll for mobsters. It's a black 5 and a white 4, which is down here. Oh boy. Okay. And purple gets to go again. So what's purple going to do? Maybe use one of these to zoom over somewhere else. Maybe take a look at that one over here. Maybe. 1, 2, and then maybe look at that. That would bring them up to, yeah, let's do that. So let's go 1, 2. And again, we know with this that right now this is a 2. So if she guesses 3, then there's a 50-50 chance because the 2's already gone. If this is a 3 or a 1, she's good. If it's a 4 or 5, then she's not. So it's a 50-50 shot. Let's go ahead and just guess 3 again. Although she moved 2. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. That would put her on there. Let's guess 1. Maybe that wasn't a good move. Should we do that? This is closer, actually. Well, it's still 2. It won't matter. You know what? Now, 1, 2. All right, let's just guess. Oh boy, no. You know, let's think about this, because the problem is if she spends too much time, not only will we get an event, but we're closing in on that one bank heist thing. So we need to make sure that we're ending our turn not on it, but just before the bank heist, so that we can get down there quick and resolve it. So the question is, you know, how do we do that? If they can come down here and just get this purple one out of the way, that would be cool. And then use quick response to quickly get over to where they need. That might be something to think about. That would be 4 time. So 1, 2, and then getting this for this is another 2 times. That's a total of 4 time, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, just before the 10, which is fine. Okay, so this blue one is apprehend. That's going to go back in the bag. And they got a pink token out of that. So they go up 1 on the badge level track. They hit a milestone, so they get to draw a force card, which is Search Dogs. At any time on your turn, peek at the top, or peek at 2 face down tokens. Leave the tokens face down where they were after looking. Okay, so that's actually good. I think you could have a maximum of 3 force cards, but don't quote me on it. Again, first time playing here. So that was 4 time that she spent. And she has to now resolve for the mobsters. Okay, I can't do that again if I wanted to. 2 and 5. White 2, black 5, which is over here. Okay. And it is now green's turn. Actually, no, she passed the red notch, so we have to draw an event. Crime Surge. Roll the black die and place the search token next to that die's token. So we have to roll the black die. 1, which is here. So now we have to roll the white die and add mobsters to this row. I don't know what the search token looks like. That looks close enough. I can't tell, but sure. Okay, so we'll put that there. And now we have to add 3 mobsters to that row until there are at least 3 in the surge row. So we have to add 2 more. There's 1 already here. So we have to keep rolling the white die until, okay, 4, there's already 1 there. 5, okay, there's 1 and 2. So 1 on the 5 and 1 on the 2. So where's that? And there's that. Okay. And that was the event. And to get rid of this card, you have to clear the surge row of all mobsters and resolve. Yep, so that's it. So we have to get rid of everything in row 1 pretty much, which is going to be fun. All right, so that was the event, and I think that's it. If I'm going quickly, I apologize, but kind of pressed for time. So I think it is now green's turn. And again, if they pass this, then it's okay, because pink already triggered that 1 event card. All right, so let's go ahead, and he's here. I kind of want to get myself set up at the bank space so I can easily do that when the time comes. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 time to get there just before it. I need to get this token. I could come up here for 1. Maybe I do that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Because I need to get this cleared off. Okay, I think that's the smart thing to do. I'm going to come up here for 1 and then apprehend for 1 only, because my ability is if I get rid of a blue or a red mobster on my space, then it's only 1 instead of 2. So I'm going to, for 2 time, 1 to move, 1 to arrest or whatever it is, apprehend. I'm going to get that, put that on my here, and then that gives me another force card. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to retcon it and say I used one of these cards prior to doing that, because I was going to anyway. I want to do Search Dogs so I can peek at 2 face down tokens. That'll give me room for another force card when I bring this token over. So let me just draw a new one. canine unit, and I'll get to that in a minute. So then I get to pick at 2 face down tokens, and to help out the purple player, let's peek at, they're here. So they're here. I'm not sure which ones they're going to go after. Let's peek at this one. That's a 1, actually. Oh, wow. Okay. That one's easy to do. And this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's peek at this one over here. This is a 4. So I'm going to leave these face up because I know it says to leave them face down, but we're playing a cooperative game, and it's just, I don't have an eidetic memory. So we're just going to leave it at that. The canine unit we just drew, because I got that blue token just now, is at any time on your turn, move any 2 mobsters up to 2 orthogonal blocks apiece. Okay, that's not terrible. That helps us position mobsters around the board as needed. We could use that right now and move them off and then clear this right away. I'm very tempted to do that. That would be, you know what, we should just do that, because why not? And that will bring them closer down here. I'm going to do that, because why not? Because I'm not going over there anytime soon. So, yeah, I'm just going to use the canine unit right now, anytime on your turn, to, I'm going to use that to just move these guys 1, 2 spaces orthogonal. So something like that. And that now clears this row of any mobsters, and that gets rid of this. And the crime surge is gone. And as a reward, I get to look at 1 suspect. So I'm going to draw the top suspect card. And this, you'll note that everything's kind of coded. That's what this thing does. So again, the outside of the cards give individual information about this particular person that relates to these clues. But the middle is just the name. And I know it's probably hard to see, but that is Jeffrey Jazz. So Jeffrey Jazz is not in this envelope. So we can eliminate him from our notepad. And I'm going to put that underneath here. The other reward here is non-existent because, again, it's only in competitive. That allows us to peek at a folder that some other players already seen or revealed for themselves. Okay, it's like hidden information. So that's done. I'm kind of confused now as to where I was. Okay, so I just did that. I got that blue one. I moved up here and got a force card, which I used it right away. I spent time to do that. So I went 1 and then 1. I used 2 time. 1, 2. And again, 1 to move and 1 to arrest or apprehend the blue/red mobster, which is special to me. And I now have to roll for a mobster. 1, 4. So that would be here. White 1, black 4. It's a red 1. Okay. And green still gets to go. Great. Do I use quick response to bring myself here in time to get this bank thing done? But here's the thing. Yeah. Okay. I want to get in the area for sure, but I need to get this done. I need to get one of these mobsters over here so I can get this last blue one. I don't want to drive all the way over there. That's just, I may not have a choice. I could come over here and peek at this green one. But then purple has to be the one to come here and do this, which is probably for the best because they have that workaholic ability, which is they get to move their time tracker back 1 space when they resolve an event. So maybe I make sure I don't pass this bomb or land on it. So I can only spend 2 actions right now. So maybe I just move to. This is awful. Maybe I do quick response. At the start of your turn, you may move your time tracker back 4 spaces. Maybe I do that, and that'll give me some extra time to come down here and do things. Maybe I do that. Or get this other one over here. I really don't want to use that until I have to. This is tough. Okay, so I know I'm taking my good old time here. This one is, instead of driving normally, spend 1 time to place your car on any space. So I could do something like, I might just do that. Well, no, because I want to save that for her. It just makes sense because she's got the ability and I don't. What if I come over here? So if I come here and then reveal this for 2, that's 3 time I spend, and that would land me on here. And then I'd spend 2 extra time because I landed on the bank heist. I can't spend more than 2 time. And I can't do this because my character cannot do that action. So what do I do? I mean, I guess I'm gonna use this coordination. So I go back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe I can somehow time it to where I land right on him. So this is going away. And now I'm going to drive. I want to get over here and get this last piece before I start messing with the green ones. Although, well, the green's right there. What if I come over here for 1, and then for 2 actions, reveal that? Yep, so we'll do that. It is a red X, unfortunately. So that was 3 time I just wasted, which is awful. But that still comes to me, and I move my badge up by 1. Even though it's a failed token, it still moves up. And I moved 1, 2, 3. I'm on the 6. Okay, and now I have to roll for mobsters. I rolled a 6 on the white die there, so no mobster comes out. There's no 6 on the 5x5 grid. So green gets go again, and if I go 1, 2, and then a rest to get rid of that one, that's 3 technically. Yeah, this is a bad decision on my part because purple will never be able to go to get that done. Okay, so I'm just gonna go 1, 2, and then a rest for 1 action because of that special ability I have, and that also gets me this. So that comes to me. I go up 1 more on the badge track for getting that last token. This goes back in the bag. I spent 3 time doing it. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And what am I missing? Okay. I got my 3rd blue token, which is what I need to reveal this. So I'm going to now put this in here. This is the actual suspect card. Again, the middle of the card has the name, but all we're interested in is this one piece of information. And it happens to be a rhino. I don't need this, but it's there. So it's a rhino. So that means we've narrowed it down. This is the gang. So it's either going to be the blue gang or the red gang. So it was a rhino. So let's go ahead and put this back, assuming I can. There we go. So in my book, I am going to mark off pretty much all of the other ones that are not rhino. So rhino is red, and that was what was on the card. So we're going to get rid of all the blue ones. Okay, that leaves us 8 suspects. All right, and now I have to roll for mobsters. It's a 3 and a 4. White, 4, black. Ooh. So, yeah, so there's already a mobster on that spot, which means I have to draw another event card. I don't like that. Arsonist at large. Roll to place 2 fire tokens in different blocks and place the 3rd fire token on this card. Only 1 fire token can be in a block at a time. If a mobster roll adds a mobster in a block orthogonally adjacent to a fire, it spreads. Okay. So I have to roll for 2 fire tokens. It looks like that might be fire. That's fire. That's fire. Okay. So 3, 3. Sure. And it doesn't say that 1 can't go there. 1, 3, which is here. It's not terrible. And then 1 goes on this card. Okay. All right. Well, that was awful. And now we move on to green's turn again. Now here's the thing. They're going to use quick response. So they're going to spend 1 time to drive here. So that's gone. And now they're going to do this bank heist action, which is As an action at the bank, spend time equal to the number of spaces from your tracker to the heist time token to resolve it. So one time, pretty much. And then another time, because I used that one card just to move, or to move all the way over here for one time. And then I used one time because I was right next to that bomb thing. But this is now gone and resolved. So that's gone. And as a reward, I get to draw a suspect card, which is not great, but it is what it is. Hopefully it's not a blue one, right? Because we already know all the blue ones. This one is Ivan Ice, which is a... it is a blue one, isn't it? Yeah, it's right here. So we already knew Ivan Ice was not a suspect through other means, but so it goes. But at least we only have one event out here that we have to deal with. Okay, so now we're on to Purple's turn. And, or did I... Pretty sure, yeah. Purple's turn. If I forget to roll for mobsters, I apologize. Sometimes my brain is like in 1,000 different directions. I'm going to forget a couple of times throughout this game to do that. Okay, so anyway, getting to purple. 1, 2... Okay, so they're kind of stuck over there. They need to get up here to get this, but like there's no mobster in that row. What if they start delivering people to the headquarters? There's a red one there. Or come over here to try and clear out all of these mobsters, because that's pretty bad. So 1, 2, 3. That's a huge action to do that, but that would clear out a lot of mobsters. Okay, so they are going to go for science. 1, 2, 3. That's a lot of movement. And then they're going to do the call to action, which is, or call for backup, which is they're going to pick a number and then roll the die. And if that die number is equal to or lower than the number they picked, then they're good. Otherwise, they only arrest the person on this spot. Now, they moved 3 times here to get here already. If they do, say, the number 3 or 4, say 4, for example, they would have spent 7 time doing all of that, which I'm a little concerned about, considering that's a lot of time to spend on this. Rather than doing that, she was here. They could go 1, 2, 3 and just resolve that. That's a 4, though. It'd be better to go like 1, 2, 3 and then do that. Maybe that is the smart thing to do. 1, 2, 3. All right, fine. And let's just do that. I am going to go with the number 3. 50-50 shot. 1. Okay, that's good. So I spent 3 time to move and 3 time to do that call to action. I rolled a 1, which is overkill, but I still completed it. I get to remove all mobsters orthogonally adjacent and on my spot. If I failed the roll, only the one on my spot would have been removed. So all of these go back into the bag, and that'll help prevent these overflow events from coming up, hopefully, in the future. But that was 6 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a new event comes out. Speakeasy bust. Shuffle the 2 speakeasy tokens face down and roll to place them at different blocks. Great. Speakeasy tokens, I don't know where those are. That looks like 1, yep. And we have to put that down at 3, black 3, white 4, which is there. And that looks like 1, possibly, yeah. All right, so we're gonna roll that. It's a 4, 5, which is, 4, 5 down here. Okay, it says, oh, there's a check and an X, so we need to shuffle these up because I don't know what they are, but let's go ahead and shuffle them real quick. Okay, good. 1, and sorry for the bump. There we go. And the rest of the card says, when performing a risk roll that is compared to the number of hours you choose to risk, you must roll a 1. You must re-roll a 1 once. Bust them. Oh, so every time we do a risk roll from here on out, we have to re-roll a 1. Good thing we got this card after getting this thing done. Anyway, bust them. As an action at a speakeasy token, risk 1 to 5, roll less than or equal to reveal the token. If a check mark, this is resolved. If X, place the token on your mat. Okay. So there's, even if we did the risk, there's still a 50-50 shot that we would get the X or the check mark. That's awful. Okay, so that's going to go here. And I think now we have to roll for mobsters. 1 and 3, which is here. Okay, so where was I at? I'm pretty sure it's the green player's turn now. Okay, so let's go ahead, and I think there's green tokens nearby. Maybe I just go for those, hit those as hard as I can. So I'm going to go 1 and then spend 2 actions to flip this over, which is a green check mark, which is good. That's 2 of the 3 that we needed. So that's going to take me 3 actions, 1, 2, 3. And I get to move up once on the track, up to the 6. I've got 3 green ones and 3 blue ones, which is why I'm up to 6. I only have 2 check marks, though, and 1 X. So I need 3 green check marks to get this forensics one done. So that was 3 time, and I have to roll for mobsters. It's a 1, 2. So that would be a black 1 and a white 2, which is here. Okay. And now it is green's turn again. So maybe come up here and deal with this guy, I think. Or just to get him back in the bag. I can also look at that and just double down and try and get that last one. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to just come up here for 1, and I'm going to flip this over for 2, and it is, of course, an X. So I still get to move up once on my track. That does unlock a new force card thing. So we're going to draw a force card. Chief's orders. Instead of driving normally, spend 1 time to place your car on or adjacent to the headquarters. All right, that's not bad. And I spent 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. I'm on to 17, and I have to roll for mobsters again. 5, 6. The 6 does not count, so no mobsters spawn. Purple is now going to go. Purple, I think, is just going to come right up here for 1 action. And he's going to spend 1 time to stake out, which is, he already knows that the 1 is here. So he just collects that. Goes up 1 on the track here and spends 2 time. Great. And all you need is 1 more in order to get the getaway information. So maybe up here, do that. They also only need 1 for this token as well. So purple's in a good spot right now, but we have to roll for mobsters at the end of their turn. A 5, 5, which is unfortunately a double, which means we have to roll this again. So there's that, and that's a 6, 6. Well, there we go. It's a double whammy. We do not have to roll again. The 6s do not count. Okay, so the purple still gets to go. There's a guarantee here, just going 1, 2, and arresting this guy, or apprehending them to catch the informant, whatever. That gets the last pink token. I think that's what we do. So 1, 2, and for 2 actions, do this. And that goes back in the bag. And because there's a pink token on that row, we grab that. And that was 4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. We crossed the threshold. Before we reveal that, though, let's go ahead and take a look at our new evidence. We got the last pink token. So we're going to put the murderer card in here into the folder. There we go. And this is a hand with a ring on it. I think that's a boss. I'm going to take a look at my thing here in a moment. That goes here. Hand with a ring on it. So if we take a look at my notebook, hand with a ring, hand with a ring, hand with a ring. So it could be Harold, it could be Maud, it's not Lucy, it's not Greg, it's not Dawn, it's not Bill. So it's either going to be Eve Eraser, Frankie Fire, Harold Hooch, or Maud Malice, based on this information. So it was a boss. Okay. Also, she passed the red notch here. The first player to pass that red notch, we have to draw a new event card. That's going to be bad here. The snitch. Roll to add the snitch token to the city. Okay, well, let's do that. To 2-5, snitch. I can't tell. That's about right. Roll to add the snitch to the, so 2-5. Yep, down here. Of course, down there. It is treated like a gray mobster when in the city, but can only be apprehended by using the bring in for holding action, which is typically used to get these orange tokens for the weapon. Meaning you pick her up, you bring her back to headquarters, and then for another 2 actions, you drop her off and you get the right token. So that she counts as a gray one. Interesting. Cannot catch the eye, the blue eye. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about that because I've got them all already. So luckily we got all of them before this came up. So we just have to take her to custody, and doing that allows us to increase our badge level, which we'll see how that goes. But now there's 3 of them out here, and if we have to draw another one, then this guy starts moving backward on the track, which is bad. And again, that's different for competitive play. All right. So purple took their turn. They moved up. I think they have to roll for mobsters. I don't think they did that yet. So let's do that. 1-6. They do not have to place anything because of this 6 there. So now it is green's turn. And green is considering his options. He could try to start working. Maybe he starts working on... Because he did all the green ones. All the green ones are over here, so that's bad. Maybe he gets rid of this guy and he stays there and just apprehends him for 1 action. Just arresting him for 1 action does nothing. In the solo/co-op game, it just puts him back into the bag for 1 time. So I think while he's there, he does that. I just think it's the safe thing to do. Puts him back in the bag. In the competitive game, again, like I said, if you arrest 3 of the different colors and add them to your mat here, you get to add your badge level up by 1 and put them back to the bag. In the co-op version, that's not a thing. Okay, so it's still his turn. He has to roll for mobsters though, which is kind of silly. 1-1. Oh, he just made it worse. There's that. And now he has to roll again because, 1-1. Are you serious? 1-1. So now we have to draw another event. But because we cannot draw another event, we have to move this guy back 1 space. So he's on the 48. I think. I can't read that far because my eyes are bad, but I'm just going to do that. Okay. We normally would have spawned another mobster, but on 1-1, it can't go there. And because we're maxed out here, we have the overflow penalty. So we had to move that mobster back 1 space, which, is not bad considering that we are hopefully close to getting everything we need to make our guess. So green still has to make a move. Maybe he works on some of these events and gives purple time to finish that up and get more information. The other thing that we haven't gotten yet is the green. So maybe he starts working his way over here, maybe clears off this fire. I forgot about these arson tokens. I don't think any mobsters spawned around them. I could be wrong. I apologize if I missed it. So maybe I'm going to spend this Chief's orders to spawn, instead of driving normally, spend 1. No, that's kind of a waste. We'll go 1, 2, and then for our action, get rid of this arson token. That's going to go in front of us for right now as proof that we worked toward it. So that's 1. So that was 1 action. That's 3 actions total. 1, 2, 3. And then we have to spawn mobsters. 1 and 5, which is top right corner. Gray mobster. All right, it is now green's turn again. So maybe come over here and he can try and do the speakeasy one. He could come down here and work on that. I think that's better, getting those green ones done. So he's going to spend 1 time and then 2 time to flip this. And it is a green check mark, which is all the tokens that he needed in order to get the green evidence done. So he spent 3 time doing that. 1, 2, 3. He's not past the red yet, but he's 1 space away from revealing another event, which is bad for us. But that's good. We got all the green ones. So now we can look and see what this is. And again, in co-op, this is all shared. This is a fingerprint. So we're going to, everyone with a fingerprint stays. Everyone with a footprint goes away. Footprint. And Harold is a footprint. Okay, so it's either going to be Frankie Fire or mod malice. Okay. Interesting. And this should tell us once that happens. So I did the thing, I moved that. What am I missing? I didn't roll 4 mobsters, did I? Okay, let's do that. 6-4. The 6 does not spawn anyone new. All right, so purple, maybe we just double down on this and get this done. We know this is a 4, and we know that the 2 and the 1 are gone. So that's either a 3 or a 5. Maybe they just guessed 5. Stay there and guess 5 to guarantee that's done, so as not to waste any time. So they're going to guess 5 on that spot without moving. It's just 5 time that they used. And it's a 3, which they overkilled it, but that's okay. They go up once on the track here. That gives them a force card. Radio dispatcher. And they have to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They passed the red notch. I'm just going to remove this back 1 because we're on our overflow there. And there's so many things happening. I get to now look at I got 3 of the brown binocular tokens. So now we're going to look at this, and this should, in theory, clinch it as to who the suspect actually is. This does not fit in here very well. It's like very tight. That is a vehicle, a car. All right, so it's a car. Hopefully that's what we needed. So let's take a look here. This is a car, and that is a car. Oh. So maybe we should have looked at this prior to doing that, because now we wasted. They have the same getaway. Oh, that's stupid. I should have looked at that before doing that. So it looks like what's going to clinch it here is the murder weapon. Yeah, so we need to find the murder weapon, which is, oh man. That means we have to arrest 3 people and bring them back here. That was really stupid of me. I thought they would have different things. Okay. Well, we just lost all that time for nothing. Well, all right. We have to draw a new event. We already moved him back, and now we roll for mobsters. 3-6. Okay, well, at least that's going for us. Okay, so it is now Green's turn, and I think what they need to do is get people back here as quickly as possible. There are no red mobsters out here, which is bad. We need to get all the mobsters back here, and then once we do that, we win, pretty much. So he's going to go 1, 2, and for 2, he's going to apprehend this. That's part of the snitch, which is a gray mobster for all intents and purposes. And it's going to cost 4 actions to do that. 2 to move, 2 to apprehend. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and he's going to roll for mobsters. It is a 1, 2. Black 1, white 2. Look at that. Right on the spot we needed. Okay, couldn't have planned that better. It is now Pink's turn. Pink is going to just stay there, spend 2 actions to pick this up and put them into their vehicle. And they're going to sort of drive back to the headquarters there. And that cost them 2 time to do. 28. And now they have to roll for mobsters. 3-6, nothing to spawn. Okay, it is now Green's turn. Green is going to maybe use the card just to Chief's orders to save on time. Instead of driving normally, spend 1 time to place your car on or adjacent to headquarters. I think we do that. So we're going to spend that to, for 1 time, do this. That saves us 2 time, because normally 1, 2, 3. And then for our action, we're just going to drop off the snitch, and we get the gray token for it. The snitch token goes back, and this is the officer with the snitch performs the second half of a bring in for holding action. So as a reward, I get to take a free move up there. Okay, which is fine, but that's gone away, which is going to help us later because 1 is going to be coming out soon. Okay. And I did 1 action. That's 3 actions total. 1, 2, 3 on the 30. Okay, it is now. I have to roll for mobsters. 1, 2, which is here again. Really? No, 1 black 2 here. All right, it's a red one. All right, so now pink. Let's get them back home. What does the radio dispatcher do? Instead of driving normally, spend 1 time to place your car on or adjacent to a block with another officer's car. Yes, we're going to do that. And for 1 time, boom, just do that. And then for 2 actions, drop off the red one that they picked up here back into the bag. It's 3 actions total. That gets rid of the red one. All we need now is a blue one, which just happened to be right next door, which is good. So she gets that one, and she goes up once on here. I may have forgotten to get my... Let me see how many tokens I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I think I still... Yeah, I think I have 8. I'm good. Oh, and plus 9. I got on a reward for that, so I should have 9. This is to draw a suspect card, which it doesn't matter, but this is Dawn Dread, which we already knew was innocent, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so they moved there, turned in for 2. 1, 2, 3. First person to pass that red notch there on 30 to 31 draws an event card. Public Fear. For mobster rolls when or after this card is drawn, if a 6 is rolled on either die, re-roll that die 1 time. Okay, so no more free 6s whenever we roll them. Speaking of which, we have to roll for that. 2, 5. So 1 goes on black, 2, white, 5, which is over here. Okay, and it is now green's turn. Now to get rid of this card, it says, as an action, spend 1 time at headquarters with at least 1 other officer car at headquarters. We're already there, and we could draw a force card. I say I just stay there and take care of it and be done with it, because we're both there already. It just says another officer's car needs to be at headquarters to resolve. We're just going to do that. Just get rid of it. Why not? And it's just 1 action. So we're there. That goes away. And as a reward, I got to... Oh, everyone who participates get a force card. Well, both players get a force card because they're both there. So we get to draw 2 force cards. Calling all units. As an action, spend 3 time to arrest all mobsters from your row or column. This one is when driving to or through headquarters, spend 1 additional time to gain 1 suspect card once only. Not very helpful. Okay. All right. So it is green's turn, but we spent that action to do the thing, and now we have to roll for mobsters. 2 and black 2, white 3. There. All right, green still gets to go because he's on top of purple's token there. He's going to go here and then apprehend for 2, which is the bring in for hold. He doesn't have... Oh, you know what? I think I played this incorrectly. He does not have the bring in for holding action, so he was not able to bring that token back. You know what? We're going to assume he can for the purposes of this video, because I'm not going to retcon 5 moves back. Yeah, I just noticed this. He does not have the bring in for holding action. He has legwork instead, which is every time he gets a force card, he can spend 3 time to gain a suspect. Again, normally they have it, but with this co-op version, they don't. So again, that's a my bad kind of thing. And I'm just going to just say, oops, we do have it instead, and just let it go. Because we're almost done with the game anyway. It just would have taken longer to get everything done. So we're just going to pick him up for 2 and say that he has that bring in for holding thing. It's 3 time. 1, 2, 3. And he has to roll for mobsters. It's a 3/6. We don't... Oh, with that one... Oh, that fear card is gone, so we don't have to worry about that 6 anymore. Okay. It is now purple's turn. And again, once we bring that weapon back, he just... Purple can just kind of just stay there. Not do it. Well, here's the thing. He's got to do something, right? So why don't he just like come over here and do the risk, try and get rid of it? So he'll do that, and then maybe risk 3. Maybe let's do 4. Just to do a nice round number. He got a 1. That's way more than he needed. Although, do we have to re-roll 1s? Yeah, we have to re-roll 1s because of course we do. 1. Now, is it the first time or second time? When performing a risk roll, you must roll once. It doesn't say you have to keep doing, just once. So I rolled a 1 again, so I succeeded. I can look at this, and it is a check mark. So we completed the speakeasy bust. And that is everyone who participated gets a suspect card, which, okay. I mean... Unless it's one of those two that we need. This is Bill Bulldozer. Is that a familiar name to me? No. We need Frankie Fire or a mod. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so he used 4 time, 1 to move, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on 36 there. And he has to rule for mobsters. A 6 and a 4. Well, we're good. So green gets to go and moves back, delivers the last. Again, normally he wouldn't be able to do this because he doesn't have the action. I apologize, I missed it. So sue me. But the blue one here goes back to the bag, and we completed the last color needed for this orange weapon thing. And now, based on this, we'll know, I mean, at this point, which one is it? It's the bottom right one. So that is a knife, which means that our suspect mod malice. So we're going to guess mod malice, and it is indeed mod malice. So we correctly guessed the person before we ran out of time. All players win the game. So there you go, folks. Like I said, mistakes were kind of made during the playthrough of this, but first time playing, you know, that's expected to happen. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what you're in for should you decide to pick this up. Again, keep in mind, cooperative is very different to competitive. You know, players are actually semi-working together. Again, in cooperative mode, or competitive mode, the last player to collect the token that they need for that category gets to look at this. But then other players will be able to peek at it throughout the game by completing these events. So, like, you can eventually get access to what the other players have by completing those events. Also, by contributing to this, even if you weren't the last player to contribute to this, at least you'll be able to draw a suspect card and kind of cross off someone, and then hand in that suspect to peek at this when the event cards are done. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what you're in for should you decide to pick this up. I'm indifferent to this. Like, it's okay. This event thing is kind of overly difficult in my opinion. Like, I'm not thrilled about how quickly this escalated. Like, I thought I was on top of things, and then bam, 3 events. Like, it's all this dice luck roll thing with placing mobsters is awful. What if you consistently continue rolling doubles, or what if you consistently keep rolling spaces with mobsters on them? Even if there's only 1 mobster on the board, what if you were that unlucky and just keep rolling that same set of coordinates? Then you keep placing event cards, and it's like, they're awful. So, like, I wish that event cards came up only on the notches, not when you roll. Like, I might house roll it in the future to make it easier, where if you roll a coordinate where there's a mobster already, you just simply roll again to place another one. I think I'm going to do that instead. Placing out an event card when you go to place a mobster where there already is one is kind of rough. I mean, that's just, ugh. I mean, those events are awful. It's not a bad game. It's not one I would rush out to play again. But I like the deductive reasoning of this. The force cards are very powerful. Definitely try and get as many of those as possible. As far as like playing this competitively, I mean, it's just weird thematically that policemen would be fighting with each other to get the objective, like to find the suspect. I mean, you think they're all on the same side. The good guys should all be working together. So I feel like this game is like, should be primarily a co-op game and then competitive second. It's just weird thematically anyway. So like I said, not a bad game. Tiny Epic Crimes. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.